Hey guys, it's Brad with probateresource.com, and I am here with Colin Beck, and Colin Beck is our partner in the Cincinnati, Ohio, greater Cincinnati, Ohio area. I've known Colin for a long time, and I'm so happy to have him on as one of our partners. Colin, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Brad, thanks. I'm Colin Beck. My wife, Christina, and I own Vero Home in Cincinnati. We're investors that have done a lot in the probate space over the last 10 years. We really like taking care of families and making houses as beautiful as they can possibly be and making sure that everybody involved is taken care of in the entire process. I think that the inheritance deals are the most fun deals that we do because we get to know the family and we get to know a little bit more of the history of what has been going on in the house and walk through that process alongside the seller.
That's great. Yeah, I mean the story. I love the stories too. Like it's not, we don't just do this about the houses. I love the stories, especially with an older home that's been around in multiple generations. I love hearing the stories about the house and the family and that sort of stuff. We're all ears. I don't mind sitting there listening to you, talking to you for another hour or two, whatever it takes. I don't mind. I love the stories because this is very much a people business than it is a real estate business.
Agreed.
Well, Colin, we're so excited to have you on board with Probate Resource. Known you for a long time, and I know you're going to be a great asset to all of the people in the Cincinnati area who've inherited property and need help selling this inherited property. So welcome aboard.
Thanks, Brad.
Awesome. And you guys were on TV, weren't you?
We were. That's actually a few years ago. My wife and I filmed a show down in Atlanta called Flipping Showdown on HGTV. We actually won that show. I had to flip a bunch of houses and get judged on it. And that was such a cool experience to kind of cement what we were doing.
Definitely. That's how we got to know each other too. We've known each other ever since then, because one of the houses you flipped was actually one of my properties. So that was kind of cool. And we've kind of created a friendship, and we talk to each other on a regular basis going forward. So that's awesome. I'm happy to have you part of Probate Resource. And one of the reasons why I brought you on with Probate Resources, one of my partners in the Cincinnati area, is because you share the values that I share. And one of the core values that we have at Probate Resource is acting with integrity. We also make sure that our partners also value integrity as well. As you know, and I've talked about it a lot, this industry is full of people that do not act with integrity and are kind of shady. And it's, those of us that operate with integrity and operate a stand-up business and do what we say we're going to do, we're kind of few and far between. And it's kind of sad to say that, but it is the reality of our industry. So what do you think acting with integrity means?
So back in 2016, when Christina and I were getting started in this, that's exactly what we saw. Our company was birthed out of us actually trying to find our own house and realizing that there were so many just crappy flips all over the place. And so when we started Vero Home, Vero means true, the Italian derivative of that. And we wanted to work with integrity. We wanted to take care of the people that we were buying houses from. We wanted to take care of the house, and we wanted to offer a product that we were proud of. So we've always wanted to take care of the people that we were working with, whether that be the seller, the buyer, the contractors on our team, whoever that may be. And it's been really cool to see when you take care of people, they tend to take care of you as well. And we've had some really, really cool experiences and gotten to see how that plays out.
Yeah, especially in the probate niche where people have, someone has passed away and they've inherited a property, they're selling an inherited property. It requires a whole lot more, empathy and you just really, you have to act with integrity because you're dealing with these people, you're dealing with their family estate. They're dealing with probably the largest asset that their mom or their dad ever owned. And they don't want to get jerked around by somebody, and they want to sell it to someone who's going to turn it. It could be the house that they grew up in, right? And now they want to see this house, you know, get handed off to another family to grow up in, right? Or just someone they know is going to take care of the property, right? And I think that's absolutely critical in the business, and that's why I'm very selective about who we work with at Probate Resource, and that's why we chose you and Christina to work with in the Cincinnati area, because we know that if we hand someone off to you that has found us online and is dealing with this inherited property, they want to be in good hands. Like they want to be with someone who's going to do something great with the property and take care of them and treat them like a human being, right? So in that same vein, there's actually a lot of home buyers in the Cincinnati area who claim to pay cash and close quickly. You deal with them, you know them, you probably know them all, right? The reality is like the investor community is very small, right? There's only like a handful of real players that are actually buying houses, right? And there's a lot of people who claim to buy houses that aren't actually buying houses. So, how would you say, I mean, you guys have closed a lot of real estate deals in the Cincinnati area. What do you think sets you guys apart from everybody else?
I think what sets us apart is the ability to work with integrity, the ability to say, hey, this is what we're able to do. And to even walk people through the process. I had a deal that I was working on recently where I was like, hey, let me be a resource. I've done this a lot of times. I know what this process looks like. I know what you need. Even if I'm not the one that you end up going with, I still want to make sure to take care of you, your family. I mean, it was a like 7 different heirs situation, and they needed a certain number to hit what they got an appraisal for, and all the different intricacies of it. And just knowing what it takes, knowing what needs to be done, knowing how to interact with people. And then, I mean, just providing that level of, resource. It's like, I'm not swindling you. I'm not trying to take advantage of you. I really want what's best for everybody involved.
Absolutely. And I think you talked about it a lot, setting the expectations up front and being honest and transparent with people, I think goes a long way. There's so many people in our industry who will kind of bait and switch people they'll tell them what they want to hear on the cash offer for their house. And then they'll either pull the rug out completely from under them, or they'll negotiate the price back down later and say, I found this and we've got to cut it down to this. And they set an expectation that, especially with a family, when there's 7 heirs involved, right? You have 7 different opinions of value of a house, right? And
Yes.
then they have now, let's say you offered them $200,000 for that property or whatever the number is. They've already done the math in their head right off the bat and said, oh, Susie's going to get X, I'm going to get X, I'm going to get X. And then if you come back later and you say, well, I can only give you 150, right? Now everyone's like, what the heck? I thought I was going to walk away with, $10,000 in inheritance, and now I'm only going to get, 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever. Because your experience, and you and Christina are experienced in this business, and you act with integrity, you set those expectations up front to say, we're making you an offer. This is what we're going to buy your house for, right? Like, and I'm not going to come change this number later. I'm going to try not to. We still have due diligence in our contracts, right? But for the most part, we try to close with what we say we're going to do it for, right? Yeah. And you can set those expectations up front with the seller right off the bat and say, look, this is what we're going to, this is what it's going to be. This is what the house is worth. And because Christina is a realtor, I'm an agent in Georgia where I live. You have the option to say, look, I'm an agent too. If you want to go the listing route, this is what you could list the house for in its current condition. This is what it would sell for. I can offer you X because I'm going to renovate this and I need to make a profit, right? I'm not a charity. I have to make a profit. This is what it's going to cost to get it there. And this is what I can sell it for. And this is how much I'm going to make. Or if you want more than that, this is what you could list it for there. And this is who would likely buy it and how long it would probably take to sell.